Sorry, I just got held up for a moment, so I'm a little bit later than usual, but we shall begin in 2 or 3 minutes, as always. I had a bit of disaster with something falling over and breaking just when I was going to come on to talk to you all. So, we're all set now. How many of you have I got there? Is there anybody out there? We'll start in 2 or 3 minutes as always, and I'll just shift these things out of the way a bit. There we go. Nobody there. Where is everyone? Oh, I've got 2 now. Hello. Who's there? Here I am with my spotty mug as ever. Who have we got today? Can you send me a message at the bottom so I can see? Who's there? It started out all grey here, but it's actually got really nice again, so we've got another lovely sunny day. Oh, hello Pamela, nice to see you. Your garden pictures yesterday were incredible. If anyone missed them, have a look at the lesson that we did yesterday, and then have a look at the pictures that Pamela put up of her garden. It's absolutely extraordinary. Hello Hilary, nice to see you. And I've got a few more there. I can't see who you are yet. You're being secretive. Say hello to me, it's nice because then I can see who I'm talking to. We were doing teddy bears yesterday, so if you look on the teddy bear lesson, you'll see some of Pamela's garden at the bottom. I think she's won lots of awards with it. It's absolutely spectacular. So if you scroll back to my teddy bear lesson, then you'll see the pictures. Got a few others there. We'll start in a couple of minutes again as always. And I realise now I've been doing this over 3 weeks. So I can't remember exactly, I need to count. I think it's about 22 lessons now we've done. So I think Emily's been there for nearly all of them. I don't think she's here yet today. Don't know. And I think quite a few of you have been there for most of them. But if you've missed any, you can always backtrack. So if you want something else to do in the day, there's a few up there that you might not have seen on all sorts of things. Oh, hello Sandy, nice to see you. We've got some more. Please like and share it right now if you can, because that way, that way it will go out to more people. So if you like and share right now. Morwenna again, hello, nice to see you Morwenna. And who else have we got there today? Okay, just another couple of moments and we'll start. Oh, got some thumbs ups, thank you. That's good. I've been having a jolly good sort out. Oh, Julia, hello, nice to see you. For those of you, I don't think Julia's watched that many, so there's lots of other lessons that I've done. There's about 21 of them now on all sorts of things. Yesterday we did teddy bears, we've done 3-dimensional figures, we've done hanging things. Hi Julia. We've done all sorts of things. So we've done very serious sketching, we've done less serious stuff, we've done 3-dimensional flowers, we've done cards, we've done all manner of things. So yeah, today we're just doing something completely different. Now for something completely different, as they used to say. Okay, I think I'll just give it another minute, then we'll start. I'll just get another sip of my tea if you don't mind, because I've been rushing around a lot this morning. I've usually had a walk by now and I haven't done that yet, so sometime later I'll better do that, I think. I'm very lucky because I'm very near the estuary, so it's very pretty down there, which is good. Okay, I'll just show you this quickly, just in case anyone new is watching. I'm doing these lessons for free. The reason is that I'm seeing it as a way of me contributing to this situation, because by giving you something to do at home for free, I'm indirectly helping the NHS. And as I said yesterday, my daughter's there in the front line at the NHS helping people, so I'm doing this partly to try and do my little bit as well. But I'm also doing private lessons. So tomorrow I'm teaching 3 lovely ladies in the morning, and the proper lessons that I do, or the ones that rather I get paid for, are completely unique, being used by things like the neuroscientists, Oxford University, Discovery Channel, artists, architects, all sorts. So this is very, very full on learning using psychology, physiology and physics. 3-hour progress of a 10-year-old girl, not copying but completely understanding the core mechanics that make it work. So not only could she draw that picture, but she could have drawn anything else to that level because she understood the principles. 3 hours on perspective. Even architects have said they couldn't believe what they learnt. 3 hours on paint and brush technique. 5 lesson progress, 90-year-old stroke victim. 4 lesson progress, 50-year-old German lady. 3 lesson progress, 40-year-old Sri Lankan man. So don't put it down to there's no point in me doing it, I'm no good or anything. It's nothing to do with that. It works with stroke victims, Parkinson's. It's a much more grounded way of teaching you. So instead of teaching you only techniques, which is a bit what I'm doing on these lessons, you're holding the whole thing together and explaining how the whole unit works in one go. So if you're interested, contact me about that. I'm going to do a group 1 via Zoom soon. I haven't got that up yet. And my son in Australia, who's an international juggler, and myself are also doing birthday parties. So if anyone wants a birthday party through Zoom, then James and I could do that for you with half art and half juggling, or whatever combination you like. So keep that in mind and maybe tell your friends as well. Now, today we need A4 paper, and you could be using wrapping paper, you can use colour paper, you could use white paper. You'd probably be advised to colour it in a bit first, or at least one of them. You could use one black, one white. You do not have to use neon paper. The only reason I'm using it is it's the only other A4 paper I happen to have. So don't think, oh, I can't do it because I haven't got the same as Jeannie. This is all I happen to have available to me today, apart from very sparkly cardboard. So it was white paper or this. So I could use one white, one bright. I could cut a piece of wrapping paper into the size of A4 and use one white, one wrapping paper, 2 bits of wrapping paper, anything you like, any combination, but you want 2 different things. So you want something to create what we call contrast. I'm going for neon contrast because it just happens to be what I have. Okay, oh, hello Sheila, nice to see you. So you want 2 different colour papers basically. If one's floral and one's stripes or something, anything, doesn't matter. And it could be that you just ripped out 2 pages from a magazine if you like, no in colour, but you just want 2 different things. Then you need your scissors. Now, if you're little and you're worried about things, you could draw lines. To be honest, I wouldn't. I think it confuses the issue. So what you need to do is take your first sheet of paper, you've got 2, remember, and you're going to take about 2 fingers width, because I think it's easier measuring in fingers than having to go and get a ruler or something. With Mobile Rex. What's Mobile Rex? Julia's suffering with something, but I don't know what she means. Okay, so I've got 2 fingers like that, top and bottom, and I'm just going to fold the paper straight up and down there at about 2 fingers. If you're little, definitely 2 fingers. If you've got bigger fingers, if you're a gentleman, maybe 1 finger. But I'm just using that. You could measure it, but you don't really need to. So we've got 1 finger, and I've made a fold. Oh, reception, mobile reception. I think that's what she's saying. There you go. Right, so that's what I'm doing with this one first. This one is in what we call portrait. The other one in a minute we're going to do in landscape. So keep that in mind, but don't worry about it for now. Now what we're going to do is going to get our pair of scissors. I'm going to hold the bit we folded at the top. So I'm just going to hold that as a bit of a tag. And then very, very carefully, you could do this down on the table if you like, always cut away from yourself. I'm going to cut some swirly lines. Now, if you wanted to draw it on the back of your paper and pencil first, you could, but I honestly don't think you need to. You need each thing that you cut, you're only cutting up to that fold and no further, and you'd need to make these kind of about at least a finger's wide, if not a little bit wider. So don't make it too skinny because it will get too difficult to work with. So there's number 1. And oh, hi Julie. Well, give me a ring later. She's asking about my art shop because it's shut at the moment, but all the art is still for sale and I'm still doing lessons. I'm just doing it via Skype and Zoom and FaceTime and things like that. But the lessons I can do from here. I can even create a real C for you to look at as we're doing it. So don't hesitate. I've now got 2. I'm doing mine all swirly whirly. They don't all have to be the same. And then I'm going to do another one. And I need to leave it about a finger's width at least. And I'm cutting up the next one. Okay, like that. So we've now got 3. All right, you're back again, Julia. Good. I just said give me a ring later because the shop is open in a way because I'm doing it virtually at a distance. And all the art's for sale still, and all the equipment's still for sale. It's just that the shop physically is shut at the moment. There we go, like that. Now I'm going to cut one a bit differently this time. This time I'm going to cut from here, and I'm going to cut this one a bit wider, just for a bit of fun. So that one's gone a bit narrow at the bottom and a bit fatter at the top. And this one I'm going to cut fatter at the bottom and narrower at the top. But remember, the rule is don't go less than a finger or else this whole thing won't work. When you get good at it, you might decide to get a bit more clever about it. Right, now I'm going to do another couple that are quite thick, so don't make them too thin because you're going to be making yourself work. Now I'm going to do another wobbly one. And each time I'm only cutting up to that fold, no further. And then I'm going to cut another couple. I'm going to cut this last bit into 3, so there's one bit, and then I'm going to cut up the middle there. Okay, that is number 1. Looks a bit like a Hawaiian skirt or something. Maybe I should be dancing in it. So we've got 1. Now you could do these zigzaggy, straight, angly, a variety. Honestly, doesn't matter. This is number 1. Okay, so can you send me up some hearts and hands and thumbs ups when you've done the number 1? And then I'll show you what we're doing next, and then I'll show you what goes from there. So the first one, we took a sheet of paper and we held it portrait direction. If it's for a child, about 2 fingers width here. If it's an adult with bigger fingers, maybe 1. We folded that bit over and made it a fold, and then we basically cut up over and over again to that fold and no further. And we tried to make sure that nothing was wider than narrower than a finger at least. Looks like most of you have done it. So that one we've counted as done. I'm going to take my teddy bear from yesterday down because I was actually thinking of painting him today later because I thought he was rather cute. So I thought I might turn him into a painting. I'm going to pop this one up here so if anyone's still behind you can see that one there. And now we're going to do the other one. Now you don't have to have bright paper. This is all I happen to have today. It could be 2 bits of wallpaper, it could be 2 bits of wrapping paper, it could be a white sheet of paper and a piece of wrapping paper, it could be 2 magazine pictures out of a magazine, it could be anything you like. Now I'm doing 2 fingers again, just because I did before. And this time I'm folding it the other way, sorry. So this one's going to go, a minute. I'm doing this, sorry, I'm getting myself muddled. I'm doing this one on the narrow side, I'm folding it. So the other one I've made my fold across the broad side. This time I'm making the fold across that way. So the first one, the fold went down. This one, the fold is going across at the top. So I've now got 1 wide ways this way and 1 narrow ways. And we're going to do exactly the same, and we're going to cut this time up the length of the paper. And we're going to come up like this, diddling around, and same rule as last time, at least a finger's width so you don't make it too thin. Once you get used to what we're doing, maybe you might want to make another one thinner, that's up to you, but for this one we won't. So I'm cutting up, making my different, it's almost like hair I'm making, but this is kind of curly whirly wobbly hair. Not straight hair. Right, there we go. And then I'm going to have 2 more up here. So this time I've cut up the length of the page. The other time I was cutting across the width of the page. So got another Hawaiian skirt. This one could be a wig. What do you think? There we go. Right, so we've got both of these now. If you're only watching me for the first time, each day we're doing different things. Some are crafts, some are three-dimensional. One was sewing the other day. They're all just bits and pieces you'll have around your house. And some of it's full-on art, but they're all ideas that you maybe could develop more. If you're a child, you can just take them to whatever level you like. But if you're an adult, you could get really elaborate with some of these ideas. I've actually done things in most of these that I've sold at different times that have become very elaborate versions of what I'm showing you. So I'm giving you the idea. What you do with it is really up to you afterwards, but please send me photos. Now, I'm going to have to bring you a bit closer for this. So we've now got, there we go, we've now got the 2 bits of paper. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put that one, the long one, top to bottom. Now you can lay these down on your table. I can't because you won't be able to see what I'm doing. So that's one, and this one's got its bits coming like a book there. Now, I'm not quite sure what I can put this up with. I'm going to have to do it with a piece of sellotape, I think. I'm going to put this one above. And I'm going to put it above just here so that the first one of these strips coming down is just inside that fold that we made there. So I'm just going to tape mine down. You won't need to. I'm only doing it because it's obviously going to fall down if I don't. So if I just tape mine there. So I've laid one on top of the other, but I've got this seam bit here is free. Yeah, like that. So the first one, I need that one up a fraction. I've got that one down too low. Let me just bring it up to there. And if I bring this one up as well, good. I'll just move that down a bit. There we go. Right, so we've got 2 bits of paper like that. What we're going to do is first of all get rid of all of these, and you can just fold them back out of the way, which is going to be harder for me to do because I'm up vertically. We're then going to take the first strip of paper here and we're going to go over the first piece, under the second, over the next one, under the next, over again, then under, then over again, and then under, and then over again, and I need to move this down a fraction. Woo. Stuck myself up a little bit high. I'm just going to pull that down now, and it should meet pretty much at the bottom. So over the last one, under, and then I've got a little bit of over that doesn't quite work, and then I need to jiggle that across to make sure I'm right by the fold. Now this will be easier for you on a table than it is for me like this. That's number 1. Number 2 strip, we'll do the exact reverse. So this one will go behind the first one and in front of the second one, then behind that one, then over that one, behind that one, over the next one, behind the next one. So it's doing the exact opposite to the first ones, and then over and under again, and then push it over a bit to make sure it's all lining up, and you've got the second part. Right, number 3 does the reverse again. So we'll do this quickly now. Now you've got the hang of it, and if you're a bit behind me, you can always finish off afterwards, but I'm just going to finish this one quickly. So over, this one's an under because it goes opposite, the next one's an over, the next one's an under, the next one's an over, and the last one there is an under. Now the 2 might not exactly sit into each other. We're going to sort that all out at the end, so just go as far as you can each time. The next one, under first, So I take the next strip, take it under, over, and you're basically weaving the paper together. Now, if you did this with two faces from two magazines, imagine what a bizarre, almost Picasso-like face you could get. Or you could deliberately cut these ribbons to be wider and thinner to get even more elaborate pictures and more elaborate patterns. I'm just pushing them all over so they kind of meet up again, because they're getting a bit splayed out in my case, because mine's hanging. There we go. Next one. Over first, under second. My mother used to do proper weaving, and so did my granddad, and he did some absolutely amazing rugs. And I should have thought to get one out to show you, because I've still got them around the house, but I completely forgot about that. But he was really incredible what he used to do with a proper loom. This is just very simple weaving, but it's still quite fun when you've got a picture on it. So that's the next one. And so we go on. And I think you get the idea. So just finish yours off. And basically mine's not sitting quite right because I've got it all held together with magnets and things. But if you tighten everything up and pull it together, it should sit making an absolutely symmetrical, slightly jiggly pattern. And because this is in such neon colours, it's making me think a little bit of the 60s. It's almost like Mary Quant or something. Some of you will know what I'm talking about. Now, mine's, as I said, a bit odd because I'm trying to do it upwards so you can see what I'm doing, because I tried to do things on the table the other day and I think that was harder, so I thought I'd do it like this today. And you can get a really interesting picture here. Now, if you did do our teddy bear's picnic yesterday, you could do the tablecloth like this. Once you've finished it, what I would do would be to take another piece of paper. So I'm going to take one like this. And I've taught you this before, but if you fold it in half, like that, doing it that direction, so landscape and fold, I then could cut across like this and make a window, or it could be a circle. I suppose it doesn't have to be a square window, but I'm making a square window by cutting a hole out of the middle of that when I folded it, and I can do that. And then I could actually put that over what I've done here and then sellotape all the taggy bits behind that frame and cut the extra bits off. So again, it could be the beginning of a card, and then you could cut something in silhouette out and put it across it. So that's idea number one, in very simple paper. So you're basically weaving it together and you'll end up with a picture that's like that. Now you can make these get really wavy and changing size. They can be quite incredible. So that's one, but now we're going to get into something a little bit more wacky, because I like wacky. Wacky's good. So here I've got a lady who's just out of a magazine. So I'm going to chop her into a nice neat square, only because I don't want the advertising on the bottom of the page. So I've just cut the bottom advertising off. It doesn't have to be square, it's more that I didn't want the advertising. And then I'm going to cut that. So now I've got a nice picture of this lady. What I'm going to do with this one is I'm not going to weave her like we did there, but I could have cut that lady and then woven them together, and you can get some really, really interesting effects. And what we're going to do with this one though is I'm just going to cut her into strips. Now I'm going to shift this over if I can for a minute. No, I'm not sure it's going to want to shift. There we go. Right, if I shift that over there for a second, I'm going to show you over on the other side of the board. Oops, we're losing it all now. As I said, I think I'm turning into a bloopers show rather than a art show, because I keep dropping things the last few days. This time I'm going to get some glue, and I've got my big pot of glue here again that I had the other day. You could use glue sticks, oops, or whatever. I'm just going to use this because it's handy. And I'm going to glue an area quickly, which is the size of the lady. So if I just do this very fast, with any luck, I can show you quickly some other ideas with this. But the whole idea is that if you take a normal thing and you do something a little bit unusual with it, you can turn it into something else completely. Now, I'm just putting random glue there just so I've got something to stick onto. And I've made the glue patch about the same size as my lady. And what I'm going to do is I could use a ruler to do this or not. That's completely up to you. But I'm going to cut a strip here from her. So that's strip 1, and it really needs to be straight for this. And I'm going to stick that in position 1 on my glue. So we just cut that one and stuck it there immediately. I'm going to cut strip 2, but this time I'm just going to lay it down here below, but I'm going to keep it in order still. So that one I haven't stuck. I'm now going to cut strip 3. And strip 3 is going to sit right next to strip 2. And her whole face is going to start getting distorted and very weird. So strip 4, I'm going to cut it off. And I could have measured these all out and made them all very straight, but I'm going to lay that next to strip 2 on the ground here, but they're right alongside each other in the right order. Strip 5 is coming off her face again, and that's going to get straight onto the glue here. So I'm putting the odd ones straight onto the glue, touching up together like that. The next one is going down on the ground, but I'm keeping them in order. So I'm just laying this one on the chair that I've got here. The next one is going to go next to this one. Now, when I was at art school, we had to do things like this when we were doing Picasso's works, and then we had to copy the kind of strange image we got and turn it into a Picasso work. This one again goes down on the chair. The next one's just got the end of her ear, so I'm going to cut that one off. That one goes back up here again. Now, it can be two things. It either just makes it look a bit weird. The other thing is, it also makes it look like you're looking through beveled glass. So again, if you're ever drawing something like beveled glass in a picture, remember you have to distort everything in the strips of the glass. Now that one went down on the table again. This one, the next one is going up against her. There we go. Now she's looking quite distorted and strange now. This one goes down at the end. Now I'm going to pick up the next ones. So this was number 2, and that one's going up now. This one was number 4. This one was number 6, so this was 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and this is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and somehow I've got to squeeze in the last one. And if I bring you a bit closer, you can see what's happened to her face, and it's got really distorted and really unusual. Now you could have also done that by having 2 faces and woven them together. That gets some amazing effects. But you've got now 2 ladies. Both of them still look a bit like the original lady, but they're very, very different. Now I'm going to show you one last thing for today, and these ones you're just going to have to fiddle with in your own time. This time I'm going to take these 2 pretty ladies here, and I've got these 2 ladies here, and the only reason I've got these is these are old teaching boxes of mine. So obviously I found these in a box that we were going to do portraits or something, so I must have cut out lots of pictures of ladies, and at that stage I was teaching at an all-girls school, so I expect that's why I only picked out ladies, but I really don't remember. But anyway, Because strangely enough, when I went round my house this morning, I realised I hadn't got any magazines, which is a bit strange. I thought I had. So I had to find some old magazine pictures that just happened to be in one of my art boxes. Right, I've got two different ladies. This could be a picture of yourself twice or something like that. I want both the pictures to be the same size, so I'm just laying them together and cutting them to be the same size. Like that. Now, this time I'm going to take a piece of A4 paper or card. I've used this slightly thicker card today, but you don't have to. You could measure it in centimetre intervals. And then what we're going to do this time is I'm just going to make sure that will fit there, yeah. I'm going to concertina at a centimetre at a time or half an inch at a time or whatever you fancy. So I'm basically going to zigzag a fold. So we've done this before. I'm doing this portrait. So I'm doing it the long way this way. I've gone down like that. I'm going to turn it around and then I'm going exactly the same width. And I'm going to go down the other way. And then I'm going to keep going. So I'm going to go quite quickly just so you can do this afterwards and you'll see what I'm trying to do. I'm just going down the whole thing now, folding backwards and forwards. And I think today I'm going to go fractionally over time, so I hope you don't mind. But I'd love to show you this because this is great fun. I don't know if Emily's out there now, but if she is, Emily's going to have fun with this. Emily seems to have been the person who's watched every single one so far. So if you haven't seen them all, there's about 20 more lessons floating around on all sorts of different things just to give you ideas to start with. If you're a proper artist, doing things like this first are quite good fun. It's quite a good way of making your mind look at things and think about things differently and then make artworks out of it. When I was at art school, we did a lot of strange things that we then turned into artworks, which was great fun. There we go. So I'm going backwards and forwards like that. Now I'm going to have to do this quite quickly for you, but you've then got like a concertina like that. So we've got this zigzaggy thing. Now if I can, I'm just going to get back to stay there. Will it stay there? Yeah. I think it will. Okay. Now I would need to measure these two ladies off in centimetres as well. So I could do that with the ruler afterwards. And I'm going to start this off for you, but I'm going to cut a little bit of this lady off just for speed so you can see better what I'm doing. And so we've got much more of only their heads, so I'm making them still both the same size. You can afford to do it bigger because you'll have more time. So they're both the same size like that. Then I'm going to cut them into strips of a centimetre wide, whatever it was I did my folds. And then I keep them on top of each other in the right way round. So I've cut right through both bits of paper and I've laid that one down. So everything's in the right order. Nothing's changing where it is. It's just that I'm cutting it into strips and laying it all down in order. Like that. And then I'm going to do this one. And I'm still cutting through both strips in one go, but I'm making sure the same girl is always on the top and the other girl is each time on the bottom. And I don't want to get their faces muddled up for this one, whereas sometimes it's quite fun to muddle up their faces. I've got two more strips to go here, so I'm going to go down there. And there's something like this in the National Gallery, I think it is at the moment. So you can do something that's like what's in the National Gallery with this. So here we go. You could always draw these pictures for yourself first. You don't have to use magazines. Make sure you keep everything in order though. All right, so we've done all that. I'm quickly going to now make my zigzaggy stuff gluey. So if you don't mind, I'm just going to lay it down to do that for a second because I think if I try and do it up again, I'm going to get more of a mess. So I'm just quickly putting some glue on one side of my zigzags. And you could use a glue stick and do them one at a time. I just haven't got a glue stick today. Mine have all dried up. So I'm just using what I've got, which was the whole idea of this program, is to make, do and mend with what's around. So you could use sellotape if you needed to or something. Glue's probably better for this one, but if you haven't got any, then use something that you can use. Right, so there we go. I've made that all gluey and sticky. What I'm going to do now is take girl number 1 and I'm going to stick her on line number 1. So there she goes. Now this won't be as beautiful as it could have been because I don't want to go too much over time today. Number 2 from that girl I'm going to stick on number 3. Number 3 of her, the same girl, I'm going to stick on number 5. Oops. So I'm basically going along alternately. Let me see. This is the next one I've got to do. So I'm making sure I keep everything in order and I keep putting on every other... Oops. Oh, sticky teacher. There we go. So number 3 goes on there. If you don't mind, I'm going to change directions for a minute. Number... I think I've got the right one now. That one's there, of the same girl. That one goes there, of the same girl. And this one goes there, of the same girl. Now I've run out of space, so I'll stop there. So we've gone alternately with that one girl. If I bring it a bit closer, you can see what I've done. It's the one girl, but I've split her like that. Now I'm going to take the other girl and I'm going to put her in the gaps between. So I'm going to put the first one of her there, the next one of her here, the next one of her in order here. Now these should be matching up together. Mine aren't because I didn't use a ruler, but at the end of the day it doesn't really matter. Here goes the next one. And this could be 2 pictures of one person, and it could be 2 different pictures of one person, say at 2 different angles or something as well. I've just done it with 2 girls. Now at the moment it just looks plain weird, but if I bend the folds back up again and just quickly bring the folds back into it, which I would advise you do when it's drier if you're as gluey as I am, but I just want you to see what will happen with this, and then we'll say goodbye for today when I've shown you. I hope you're enjoying all these different ideas. I sit in bed at night thinking, what can I do tomorrow with them? So there you go. Now I've wrinkled it up again, so it's gone back to being a concertina. And if I get this right and fold it up nicely, if you look at it from one way, slightly at an angle, you'll completely see the one girl, the first girl. And if you look at it the other way, you see the other girl. So if you walked past this, one way you'd be seeing one expression of the girl, if it was 2 pictures of the same person. And you want the pictures to marry up a bit better than I have, but at the same time you can see by getting the concertina back, when you look at it one way you're only seeing the one face, and when you go round the room and you look at it from the other way you'll see the other face. So it could be your own face twice, one happy, one sad, it could be all sorts of things. So there you go. Now Claire, you've never seen me do that one before. Claire knows me well. And if I just fold it up a bit better, it might work even better. So apart from this one sticking together because it's so gluey, but if I hold it one way you see one girl, and if I hold it the other way you see the other girl. And as you walk around a room, if you painted a picture like this twice and split it up, as people move around the room, it's a bit like Madonna, not Madonna, the Mona Lisa, the Mona Lisa. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. Have a bit of fun with it. We've got the woven one here. We've got the one where we messed around with the strips and we put them out of order here. Where's it gone there? You could weave 2 faces together, and this one is the same ideas, but you're looking from the right or the left. Oh, hello, Michaela. And you get two completely different pictures. So I've got lots of lovely people watching today. Please like and share. This one's great fun though, if you've got two paintings even and chop them up of your own. One where you see the girl perfectly this way, and when you look at it that way you see the other girl, and that was by cutting two pictures into strips and then sticking them onto the concertina. So Pamela, you can make that your garden in winter and summer as you walk around the room or something. You could do it with photocopies. If you've got two photos of your own garden or something, you could do that. But you need to make it a bit less messy than mine. Mine's a bit gluey and a bit sticky, and my cutting's not too great today. And I hope you've all enjoyed it and enjoy the sunshine. I'm going to take a look at it soon, I think, and go out and maybe have a walk in a bit. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed it. This one, you get two pictures that change as you walk past it. This is great fun with photographs and things to weave them together, or just a paper, or one photograph and a blank sheet of paper, wrapping paper. This one's quite good fun to get different illusions like that. So it's all to do with chopping up pictures and weaving them or sticking them. Take care. I'll see you tomorrow. And as I said, if you're new, everyone's different. Every lesson, they're completely different subjects. So don't think because it was this today, it's always that. Hello, John. And yeah, I hope you enjoy it. Please send me your photos. I love getting the pictures of everything you've done. Enjoy the rest of your day, and don't forget to go out and clap the NHS tonight. Lovely to see you all. Bye.